Hello, today we're going to start looking at what is called piecewise functions. And just like its name, piecewise functions are composed of different pieces. So for example, I'm going to bring up a graph here. And let's see, hopefully you guys can see it. So here's one. And here is another graph. So as you guys look at these, you can see piecewise functions. There's different pieces to the graph. So what I'm going to have you do now is I want you to pause the video and let's have you get these two graphs written down. So take a minute and pause it and then have you draw those two graphs. So hopefully you have those graphs in there. So what we're going to take a look is how to evaluate these. So as you can see on this first graph here, I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. We have three different graphs or three different pieces, and they're all linear pieces. So for example, if I was to say, what is f of 4? So you know how we would go to this graph. So f of here's 4. We would go down. Where does it hit this graph? Well, f of 4 equals -4. Now, if I was to look at this and I would say, what is f of 6? If I go to this graph, here is 6. If I go, I hit two different spots on this graph. But the one we want is the closed circle. So that open circle means it doesn't exist here. So I could go here, f of 6 is -2. And then, for example, one more, let's say I said, we'll take a look at two more here. If I said f of 1, so I go on the graph to where there's 1, and I go down, and there's two spots again there. So, but we want the closed circle one, so f of 1 is -1. And then let's try f of -4. So we go to where x is -4, go down. Where does it hit the graph? Is at -4 as well. So the second one here, we have a parabola here, and I'll try and write these on the side here. So let's try, what about if I said, what is f of 2? So we go on the graph down to 2, and we go over. So f of 2 is -3. Let's say I said find f of 3. So if I go to 3, if I go down, I hit that graph, but it's an open circle. So we don't count the open circle, but I notice if I go up, there's a closed circle at f of 3. So if I go over, f of 3 is 3. Again, we always use the closed circle there. And how about one last one? Let's do f of 0. So 0 is here. So if we go up, where is that? That would equal 1.